guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so sorry for the late upload on this video, and I mean late as in late by a year. It has almost been a year since the 2022 Tom Quilty, so I'm really sorry for taking so long to get this video edited and uploaded, but here it is. I'm super excited for you guys to see this video. It means a lot to me, and I am so proud of Romeo and how he handled himself at the Quilty, but I don't want to spoil too much, so you'll have to watch this video to see how we went. Hope you guys enjoy! So the days leading up to the Quilty were really stressful. This was the day before. We were only taking one car which had the float attached to it, meaning we did not have a lot of room to pack all of the things we needed for a week away. This was the morning of our travel day. Romeo was like, why am I up so early? But at the same time, he was actually super keen and a little bit on edge. I have a feeling he knew that we were going to the Quilty, so he was like super ready to go. Thankfully, it was a big sort of like sigh of relief on this morning to see that Romeo had no injuries overnight. Obviously, it's such a stressful thing to leave your horse out in the paddock and be wondering, oh my gosh, are they going to injure themselves before such a big competition? But thankfully, he was in perfect health. Here he is having a little breakfast before we get him ready to put on the float. It was quite chilly, so that's why he's got 2 rugs on to keep him nice and warm on the float ride. It is a fully enclosed float, but we keep some air vents open, obviously, to let the air circulate through. We arrived at our first stop in Moree at about 9:30 in the morning. Romeo thankfully was super relaxed, happy to eat, drink, and we just had a good leg stretch. So I think we were at this stop for around an hour and a half, and I basically just walked him around, let him chill out, and got ourselves ready for the next leg of the trip. After about an 8.5 hour journey, we arrived at the biosecurity point, which was about 10 or 15 minutes away from base camp. So you had to unload your horse here and get them checked by a vet to make sure that they were all healthy and cleared to go into the ride base. So Romeo had his heart rate and his temperature taken and a general check over to make sure he was all good from the traveling, which he was, which was fantastic. So then it was time to head off to base. I didn't do much filming once we actually got to the base and got unloaded and set up because we were racing against a storm which hit when we got into our tent. It was super windy. I thought we were going to be blown away. So it was really crazy and a bit of a mad rush. So sorry for the lack of clips of arriving at base, but Romeo was all good. We set up our yard and we were just waiting on the rest of the team to arrive so that we could get fully set up and have the best base camp ever. got Romeo tacked up and ready for our first pre-ride. None of the Alpha Equestrian team had arrived yet, so we were going to be going out solo, which I thought was going to be good for Romeo anyway, just so that if we were to be riding alone, he would be totally fine. It was really cold, which explains my fashionable beanie under my riding helmet. But when I say Romeo was very excited, I mean Romeo was very excited. Thankfully, I got back to base in one piece. I have to admit, I was freaking out a little bit internally because of how forward moving and keen he was, but as you can see, he did calm down towards the end, so that was good. Soon after my pre-ride with Romeo, the Alpha Equestrian team arrived and we had this issue. It was so wet at the base camp that big goosenecks and floats and cars were getting bogged in the mud, and they had all of these tractors helping pull everyone out, but then the tractors got bogged, so it was a bit crazy, but we got our camp set up. Romeo actually had his yard moved, and we actually moved our tent as well. So as you can see, a lot less muddy, in a better area for the horses, which was great. And Romeo was super pleased to have some horsey friends, which was Stella and Music, who are both two beautiful mares. So I think Romeo was feeling pretty lucky. So the next day, everything was going really great. Everyone was set up, comfortable at camp, and we decided to take the horses out for a pre-ride. Romeo and I were going to be riding with Lauren and her horse Stella for the Quilty. So we thought it'd be a good idea to go out for a pre-ride with them, just to make sure that Stella and Romeo would get along. Thankfully, Stella didn't seem to mind Romeo too much, and Romeo was completely in love. But this ride was actually kind of scary, because shortly after this clip, when we were almost back at base after our ride, Romeo suddenly went lame. So in my mind, this meant our quilty dreams were over and we would not be riding the following evening. Turns out Romeo overreached during our ride and he clipped the heel bulb of one of his front feet. It must have felt a bit tender at the time, but later in the day we trotted him out and he was completely sound. So it was super stressful at the time, but thankfully Romeo was okay. But I then had it in the back of my mind that Romeo might not be 100% and that he might not pass the pre-ride vetting. But everyone was so lovely and reassuring me that he was completely fine. But at the end of the day, we just had to wait and see what the vets thought at our pre-ride vetting. It was then time for the infamous strappers race, where everyone fights for the best spot to strap your horse before vetting during the race. We got such a good spot, which was awesome, and it meant that we were going to be able to strap our horses super quick and get into vetting in the quickest time possible. Into the blue. They change, but in a cycle that I can't lose. Each painful but delightful. During the strappers race, Romeo was having some amazing bodywork done on him by Cassie. She actually ended up working on him throughout the whole quilty, which was fantastic. It meant that he was feeling 100% the whole time, and he just really enjoyed it. And then we had our number put on, the beautiful Tanea braided Romeo's tail, and it was time to go to pre-ride bedding, which was such an amazing feeling since it takes so much work and preparation to get your horse to this point. So to be able to go to the bedding and pass the bedding was a huge relief, and it meant that we were going to be able to start the Tom Quilty.
The seasons turn and change just like your mind. Like the sun gives into the moon, into the night. Time continues marching.
I believe so.
Yeah, so A's for every... Night, Rummy. Okay, I don't know whether you guys are going to be able to hear this, but I have just woken up. It's about 10:45 p.m. I'm just about to head to the bathroom actually. But yeah, this is the night of the Tom Quilty 2022 midnight start. It's happening! So it is an hour before the midnight start of the Tom Quilty Gold Cup. I was frantically getting Romeo ready, but he was so super calm. I was obviously really nervous, but just trying to think, you know what, I have to take it step by step, leg by leg. Our first leg was 40 kilometers, so that was all I was thinking about, just getting through the first 40 kilometers.
I see the light inside you, brighter than the skies. Hold on, just let us escape and fly away tonight. We have the world in our sight, and I know together we'll be alright. Can you see forever we will go?
See ya. Ride safe.
And just like that, we had started the Tom Quilty Gold Cup. We rode out with Stella, who's just on our right in this clip, and Romeo was super happy to go along with her. It was honestly the toughest leg of a ride I've ever done. It was so muddy. There were horses falling down bogs. It was really difficult terrain. And at this point, once we had got through the first bedding, I was so proud of Romeo. But just after that clip, I burst into tears because Romeo was really difficult when we were heading back to base on the first leg. I virtually had no breaks and my arms were so sore. So I thought to myself, I don't know how I'm gonna keep doing the rest of this ride with him being so forward and literally tearing my arms out of their sockets. Stella was also going really well, so we let her go on ahead and I ended up riding Romeo completely solo from the second leg onwards. So this was our leg 2 trot up, which was a bit crazy because Romeo was still so excited. I actually had to walk him in, actually hop off and walk him in from the second leg because he was tearing my arms out when we were coming towards base. And I didn't want him to come in too fast because Romeo's heart rate takes a little bit longer to recover than what I think an average horse would recover. So I didn't want him to rush in, so I had to walk him in, and I was a little bit frustrated with Romeo, I'm not gonna lie, because I thought, you know what, Romeo, you should listen to me and slow down a bit because I know that you're going too fast. But Romeo just thought he was so great and so amazing and that he could go as fast as he wanted. But this is us heading out onto leg 3, which I was feeling much better about because I thought hopefully after 80 kilometers, hopefully Romeo will be feeling a little bit more tired. And this is also where I have a lot more clips because the first 2 legs were really stressful, so I didn't film too much. So from now on, there will be a lot more clips during the ride.
Alrighty, good luck.
But it's no use, cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Romeo was doing so much better. We managed to get in front of a few people and not really have anyone in sight for basically the majority of this leg, which meant that Romeo wasn't trying to chase after other horses and that we could just focus on the track and what we were doing. The views were spectacular. Torrewina is such a beautiful part of the country, so it was really enjoyable.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
So at this point we had just done over 100 kilometers and Romeo successfully got through the leg 3 vetting. I was so happy and so proud of him. It was a really tough course so far, and honestly, just to get to the point where we were, I was super happy and excited. This next leg was the 4th leg and it was another long leg. I think it was 38 kilometers. So this one was going to be a bit of a mental struggle to get through, especially since it was the warmest part of the day. Got my phone, got some carrots, got my horse.
Sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I.
We were still traveling solo and it was such a relief to get to this road. It was dead flat, well not dead flat, but pretty flat and pretty straight, and it just meant that I could mentally shut off for a little bit after doing so many hills, twists, turns, all of that sort of stuff. It was an amazing feeling to just canter along on Romeo on a straight road.
To go out of my mind, and all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I.
So we came in off the 4th leg, and at this point Romeo was finally calm and finally settled. Yay! It only took about 140 kilometers, but we got there in the end. So this is me trying to really slowly walk him over to bedding, just to keep his heart rate nice and chilled out. And amazingly, we got through the 4th leg and the 4th bedding. I was so proud of Romeo at this point. You can see me giving him lots of scratches, lots of pats, because at this point we only had 16 kilometers to go.
Woo, come on, Cammy! Let's go, Cammy! Woo!
Come on, Cammy!
I really love the audio on that last clip because it just reminds me of what a lovely and supportive team I have. Just hearing them cheer me on for the final leg was such a great feeling. And once again, Romeo and I were back out on the track, solo all the way through, and he just felt really great. I mean, ears were still pricked forward. He was still so willing and happy to go. I just love that Romeo has this determination and he never wants to give up, and he always wants to go. So it was just such an amazing feeling that, you know, a whole 160 kilometers later, Romeo was still a happy horse.
Come on, girl!
Come on, Camille! There you go.
And way too, please.
We could do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Do whatever we could do. Tick tock, we're alone now, and my thoughts are frozen, frozen now. Seeing pixels in slow mo in a weightless motion. She called me crazy and I'm wasting time. Easy, don't leave me now. Yeah, for the sky and all its diamond. I'm gonna make the time move slower. We could do whatever, yeah, sun's out, make the clouds move over. We could do whatever, yeah. I'm gonna make the time move slower. We can do whatever, yeah, sun's out, make the clouds move over. We can do whatever. We can do whatever, yeah. Do whatever, yeah.
If you're gonna be strong,
Do
Romeo and I did it. We completed the 2022 Tom Quilty Gold Cup. I was absolutely over the moon and just so thankful to my amazing team. I could not have done it without them and their support. They helped Romeo and I the entire day and just made all of our dreams come true. After a really good night's sleep, here were our final results on the scoreboard. We finished the 160 kilometers in 16 hours and 1 minute, so almost bang on 10 k's an hour, including our betting times. I was so proud of Romeo. I really had no sort of plan for how fast we wanted to go. I just wanted him to get through sound. And he did. So then it was time to let our hair down and have some fun at the dinner and dance. After a busy morning of packing all of the campsite up, I took Romeo for one final walk around the grounds just to stretch his legs before we went back home. Since starting my endurance journey 2 years ago, I never thought I would be competing in the Tom Quilty, let alone completing the Tom Quilty on my own horse, and I'm so thankful to so many people for their support in helping Romeo and I achieve our goal. After a long journey back home, Romeo was reunited with Prince. They were both so happy to see each other, and I know they both missed each other so much.
remember the ocean. Memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find a light.
I'm really lucky and proud to be sponsored by these amazing businesses: Fit and Horse Insure, Ellis Equestrian, Alpha Equestrian, and Gaston Mercier. All of their products are amazing and their support means the world to me. Finally, thank you to the best horse in the world. Romeo, you have made my dreams come true and I can't wait to compete more with you. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm so sorry once again for the late upload on this one. The 2023 Tom Quilty is actually next week. Unfortunately, I won't be competing this year as I am overseas in the UK, but I wish all of the competitors the best of luck and enjoy the ride. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!